No.
Next device.
Okay.
So we mentioned earlier the difference in generations, how back in the day there was that activism oriented, emotionally attached generation as compared to the current generation, which not fully lacks it, but as far as Muslim density, it's not the same. And so, what were the things that really made that period a lot different, that made the people then a lot different, that were able to establish all these activism oriented things and have a community that's so close knit together when it came to seeking justice, not just in the UK but also internationally?
The technology
Yeah.
was not at its peak like nowadays. We were not distracted by telephone, by apps, by all these sort of things. Our reading time was more than your reading time. Even our research in the university, I remember to go to the archive to get the big files and search for the papers which talk about my subject.
Yeah.
This was done manually. So we were using our intellect. We were not depending on technology. This is from the reading part of it, which is the knowledge seeking. We used to have halaqa, face-to-face halaqa, not Zoom halaqa. Zoom halaqa is good because it saves time, it saves effort, but it does not give you the impact of being sitting next to a brother, sisters next to a sister, and somebody is looking at you face to face. Is a part of the teaching. The simplicity of life and the upbringing. Our upbringing is absolutely different to your upbringing. We were still attached to our families because we lived together. Now you live alone. You are home alone 1 or home alone 2 or home alone 3 and we used to live together. Even brothers used to sleep on the same bed, 2 or 3 brothers. There was no single room for one individual in our houses. The family bond at home was so strong. So I remember the visitors coming to the house without any notice, without any telephone. If I'm coming them from the north of Egypt to their house, coming. As soon as they come, they have a place in the house. This kind of welcome was natural. Even living was natural. So the kind of simple life and simple and honest, not complicated, false images that we have was there. So we were not distracted by television. Sometimes there's no television. I remember the era before television, the era before transistor. The transistor is a small radio. We used to be in Ramadan listening to the radio and imagining the queen, the king, the horses, the fight, the knights, the killing, this kind of things. So our imagination was more comprehensive than your imagination. Our imagination was imagining. Your imagination is watching. Even the young children nowadays don't have the ability to think how to draw because they are bogged with too many images. This for the background of our time and your time. The challenge nowadays is Where can you fit in a fast moving society or in a fast moving community? Where can you fit? Everybody is busy. Feeling become unnatural. That's it. Oh, I feel sorry for you. I have no time for you. How can you feel sorry for me? Then you have no time for me.
Yeah.
In the good old days, when we feel sorry, we sit.
Yeah.
We hold hands. We cry. We pay. Huh? Now we feel sorry, but I'm sorry. Have an appointment. See you later. You know this? Keep doing means nothing. That's why technology is good, but technology is abusing our feeling, our behavior, even our value. Because now we are bogged by too many teachers. We don't know who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah.
You have to swim into an ocean filled with sharks and try to not to be taken by the tsunami wave. Tsunami wave is taking all our children because we are relying heavily on the AI and the social media and others. And this is a challenge for us, or for the second generation, not only for your generation, is how can you control yourself using the AI, which in my own view have something good, but something completely destructive, which is controlling your intellectual capability of thinking and producing ideas. So your wrinkling in the brain will be flat. Your the IE, IQ will be and you'll be controlled by others. They're very happy to use the AI and the others, but this is a kind of intellectual occupation, not military, not economical, not cultural, not value occupation. It's intellectual occupation which is demeaning your value of thinking ability. So we feel sorry for you, but I'm still resisting I'm using still social media, but I'm not being controlled by the AI, and I'm refusing using the AI and the ChatGPT and the Bitcoin. All this, you know why? Because you go nowadays and Mr. Azerbaijani and Mr. Eritrean and Mr. Egyptian and Mr. ZIKO. Bitcoin, what does it mean? Tell me.
And what does the word itself?
What Bitcoin means? What Bitcoins do?
It's an electronic currency.
All right, my response to it, you have a number, electronic number, that's right? With £1 million.
Yeah.
There's a crash. Get me your money. Tell me, how can you
Crash.
That's it. So here, the kind of استعمار or استخراب occupation is not only military. They changed your asset, which could be land, could be property, could be gold, could be silver, into a number. Yes, the value is gone 5% today. What? And a number? You got it? Why some of the countries like France stealing the gold of Mali and calling the people of Mali who are defending Mali because the theft of France, calling them terrorists? Why France have got maybe I'm not sure exactly how many tons of gold in a country that does not have a gold mine, and Mali was got thousands of gold mines have no gold reserve. Why there's a war on stealing the gold from Sudan? Why the gold is being shifted to the rich countries? Because gold, silver, and items actually are the value of economy. They gave you, give me this piece of paper.
Paper.
This, yeah. You know what is this? What is this?
Tissue.
No, it's not tissue. It's $1.
Ah.
I can print it in USA, give it to you.
Mm.
I give you $1 million like this, the value tomorrow will be not there.
Yeah.
I give you euro, I give you sterling, and they take from you the gold and silver and uranium. You know how people think about economy, about stability of their own country? That's how they do it.
Yeah.
But we run after this piece of paper. So, in the good old days, we used to have to own our information, to own our values. Now we don't own it.
Yeah.
They own it for you. What's in this?
So for
What's inside it?
Gold.
Hmm?
Gold. Gold.
Information. Who has the information? For free. And if we have more likes, more comment, yes. And when somebody like, what's his name? The one who,
Elon Musk.
the other one.
Zuckerberg.
No, the other one is,
Steve Jobs.
uh,
Apple
no,
or Gates, Microsoft.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates.
When I come and tell you, I decide for the future jobs. These jobs are going to disappear. These jobs are not going to disappear. Who's deciding for us? I'm just talking to your intellect.
Yeah.
Do you want to see who are we nowadays? Go and see the Planet Ape movie. 1, 2, and 3. See which version we can fit ourselves. Why you are laughing? It's reality.
Yeah.
You got your master, you got your PhD, you got your so what? But go and see the Planet Ape. They want us to live as apes, monkeys. Too many American movies have been created or directed to talk about the current situation, but nobody took a notice because they are busy. Here, brothers, if you don't have time to think, you definitely will sink. And if you sink, you will never be able to come back. Keep us busy by sports, by apps, by songs, by chit chat, by. No time even to read. I'm struggling selling a book. Talk about dimension of humanitarian work. Nobody wants to read it. Nobody wants to buy it. Sometimes they buy it as a matter of respect to me. But when they buy it, they put it in the shelf. Are we dealing with Quran nowadays in reading, understanding, contemplating, or are we just reading it? How many hafiz we have nowadays?
countless.
Huh?
Countless by far.
What is the
Too
impact?
many.
What is the impact?
Maybe it's all
How many copies of the Quran we have nowadays?
too many.
On every phone.
Not on every phone, at every house. What is the value of the Quran? How many Muslims we have nowadays? What is their fingerprint, their footprint, their impact on the society? If we don't have an impact, we don't exist. Even if we become 1 million, or 2 million, or 100 million. For me, this is a waste of time. We are not here a male to produce male and female. We are here human being to produce impact on the life of the society, on the life of others. It doesn't matter how much education you have, how much knowledge you have, how much wealth you have. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, isn't it? Was a shepherd. Is that right? Sumaya was a slave girl, or a servant. Her husband, Ammar ibn Yasir, was the same. Ammar was the same. Abdullah was the same. But what impression they put on humanity? Sumaya had, Yasir had, and Ammar has. What do we have? Tell me, what do we have? Tell me, what do we have? Our likes? Well, what? We're being driven, but we are driving. And this is to answer your first question. Not sure if this is what you want or not.
Is that okay? Do you have a question?
To add on to that question itself, so like during your time in university, you guys were small in number, the Muslims. There was
Yes.
a few of you. You were internationals. You don't know the country. You don't know much of what's happening here. You came in a generation which, after like the 50s and 60s, but there wasn't, like, across the Muslim world, there wasn't much. Correct me if I'm wrong. There wasn't much practice of Islam as well. Like, it was much lower. So you were just there now on the increase of the Islam you're seeing around you, but still, even though you guys were almost in survival, you guys still had the time and energy to devote towards doing da'wah, towards building the communities here, towards creating the forces in Islamic societies and whatever. What was that? Like, you've covered a lot of it already, but like, what was really the difference in the mindset that you guys had then compared to now? Because now, like, we have everything easily available. We have the knowledge, we have the community, we have the means, we have everything we need. Well, we all just focus on, making more money, and we'll go on to make money for our family and want the newest cars and whatever, but we don't have time to, like, even if you look, for example, at forces. Forces the last few years, it's just been same with the Islamic societies. We see across the board where it's like everyone is just focused inwards.
Yeah.
What was really different about the mindset in your time?
Because, as I mentioned in the first question, our upbringing was different. Our values were different. We were depending on ourselves. That's why we're independent. Actually, we're closer to another. We're not much distracted. I'll give you the example. At the time of the Prophet ﷺ, some people memorized the Quran by listening to it because there was no distraction. Nowadays, distraction everywhere. Even if you want to read some Quran here or to listen, every now and then, I'm just listening to maybe as a piece of the Quran sometimes. An ad comes to you with a naked woman. Isn't it right or not? Other ad was selling something. You keep not focusing on what you listen to. You keep trying to focus on how to remove these ads from your screen. This was not there. Hardly in the good old days you can look at a girl next door, neighbor. Or here even the contraception pill was invented or produced or discovered in the mid 60s and early 70s. So the family value, the neighborhood value in these countries was still there. But soon the contraception bills came out. Then soon, I think late 70s or 80s, introduced it to the universities. It destroyed everything. It destroyed the mantle of the society. There is no society anymore, it's individuals. Look at the old houses, big family, like this house. Big family house. Maybe cellar, maybe attic, maybe some room for the butlers. Nowadays, not there. Look at the number of children in each family, 1 or 2. In our time, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the children of today become like orphans because they don't have sisters or they don't have brothers to play with. Orphan is not only the one whose his father dead or her mother dead. No, the one who does not have a son, a brother to play with, or daughter to play with, and we have no time for our children. So you see all these kind of things. That's why we're still this kind of natural, you got it, natural communication. It was so natural. When we used to receive a message, a letter, from your father, your mother, your sisters, you keep reading it many times. It developed to send you a tape.
Video.
No, not video.
Oh, cassettes.
Not it. The recorded,
The cassettes.
the cassette. And you play it every now and then. Honey, how are you doing? This is your mother. I will miss you. And this is your sister giving you a message. It's not there anymore. We commercialized our life and we accepted it. At that time, we still were resisting. And our relationship with reading and writing was very strong. And this is something that you do not enjoy it anymore. Because it's unnatural for you. It was natural for us. Like when I was doing my doctorate, I did everything manually. Even cutting the bodies, making, producing the negative of the films, what do you call it, printing and developing the films, all manual. X-ray and photographs, all manual. Do your PhD now. Can you do anything manual? Even when we used to do the advertisement, all manual,
Okay.
with letter set, sticking them. I think I can come to Planet Ape. I advise you to see the movie and see where can we fit. And I can see in my generation, my daughters and my children's generation, then my grandchildren's generation. My children's generation was so protective to them at that time. Even at that time, we were not allowing our daughters to wear trousers. It's haram. Why baggy trousers? Jeans was impossible.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I'm not saying this is right and this is wrong, but I'm telling you the development or the commercialization or devaluation of the value of the society we are living in. Even the emotion feeling is not the same. How many girls do you see every day? How many boys the girl will see every day? There's no sentimental feeling. Too plenty. Too many of you. And too many of the girls. In the good old days, you know Layla? Yeah? Layla and the Majnun? Majnun Layla.
Yeah.
The woman and you know Romeo and Juliet?
Yes.
You know Romeo and Juliet?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
The movie?
Yeah.
Yeah. They commit suicide.
Yeah.
Layla and Majnun, which is the madman, used to think about her shadow passing by when he goes, oh, أمر على الديار ديار ليلى. I bypass the house of Layla. This Layla used to live here. How many Laylas you have? Many Laylas.
Hopefully he's only got one.
You know what? The times, the culture is changing, the value are changing, the society is changing.
Mm.
What was sacred in the good old days is not sacred anymore.
Yeah.
Secrecy is not there anymore because everybody is putting his or her secret on the social media. Nothing secret.
Mm.
Alas, they're overexposed. When you are overexposed, brother, you become very vulnerable, very weak. Actually, and anybody can get you and change you. And this is the problem. Generation gap. Actually, you need to know how can you strengthen the younger generation and make them to use the technology, but to control the usage of technology, not to surrender. Everyone talk about the benefits of AI. Fine. But nobody talks about the harm that the AI can do. And how can we find an alternative way to protect our younger generation and to produce alternative way of life? Why should I be a follower? What's your name, brother?
Muhammad.
Brother Muhammad. At your age, stop being a follower. Try to become a leader by letting people to follow you. But you have to have something to give to the people to make them follow you. What do you have? Do you have a copy of the Quran? You know this one? This book? Whether we like it or not, we do not respect it. We do not use it much. We do not try to understand it much. We do not put it high next to any book we read. This is a book of Allah, a book of truth. If we don't respect a book like this, which has got all the principles of life for life to be used by the people who are living inside the life created by Him. Who are you? Tell me, who are you? Who are you? Tell me. Who are you?
I'm Muhammad.
No, before that. You are some water from your father put in the womb of your mother. That's it. Nothing more than that. Are you something different?
No.
That's it. Why you are arrogant? Why you are arrogant? When you look at your origin here, the origin of life, the origin of science and technology, you increase your immune mechanism inside your body. You know why? When your immune mechanism inside your body becomes stronger, no disease will be able to conquer you. You have this kind of resistance. Of course, a struggle, but resistance. But since we are not using the value of this book, and most of us, Brother Muhammad, and Brother Kanaan, and Brother Ahmed or Muhammad, and Brother ZIKO, most of us using terminology which is not ours. Statement mentioned by others. What is your statement? Where is your statement? Why don't you make your statement? Why we are not confident in our values? It starts from home. Whether in this generation, or the future generation, or last generation. Your personal relationship. But we're not doing it. Because we are very busy. Busy to think for our future and the future of our ummah or our generation. Is it clear? Are you satisfied or just nodding your head?
Satisfied.
Alright.
Do you have a
Yes, Kanaan, bye.
I don't have a question yet. I was gonna let these guys ask.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, sir.
Which is linked to
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. So,
My
mashallah,
father is the link and then.
mashallah, you a fantastic assessment of the many of the problems. Tell us about some of the solutions, especially, for example, you talked about the society, the family, when you came and the value of those things. But was the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the connection to the kitab, the link with him, is it different in that time to now? And how can we address and improve some of those things?
To be very honest, at the time, it was not as good as it now. Despite the fact that the culture was stronger than now. But nowadays, you discover what's missing because you became more mature and have more experience. In the good old days, we were just jumping like an ape here and there and here. Actually, but we were actually using our natural talent. Keep listening to this. Our natural talent. Now we are not using your natural talent. We're using the talent of the technology. That's why you become weaker. You need to use your natural talent in communication, and reading, and writing, actually, and thinking. Yani, I'll tell you something about the relation with the Quran, and especially for the sister. Sometimes they are doing the washing. Keep the Quran on. People say, no, we have to. Okay, instead of playing Bhangra music, that's right, and the sisters in the kitchen, and the brothers, in Home Alone 1, when he was dancing in the shower. Okay, leave the Quran. Because I know the meaning of the Quran is recited, and you have to feel that Allah is sitting in front of you and you are listening to Him. Whereas you are reading, but sometimes in a busy atmosphere, keep the Quran bringing its blessing around you.
Yes.
When you write, when you think, when you're doing your washing, just keep it at the background.
I do.
Huh?
I do.
Yeah, I should.
You know what does mean? It brings the blessing. The blessing gives you the ability to stand for more hours, to do more work. When I was writing my I wake up in the morning after Fajr. I prayed Fajr with my wife, and then I found myself writing some points. Where did it came from? Because you read Quran by Allah's will enable you to reshuffle your information, to write this. Sometimes become like a song, traditional Egyptian song. Abdul Shaman Abdul Rahim. I have quite a few Shaman Abdul Rahim songs. I say, what's that to do with Quran? It is something needed by certain class of the society. They only understand this level. Another one took me to a direction of the characteristics of the character of the Quran. Quran as an entity, as a Quran is not created, huh? By the way, Quran is the word of Allah. There was a big debate at the time with Ma'mun, and people be killed and tortured. As an entity, as a character. You have to look at the characteristics of the Quran. What's inside the Quran, which is not in any other book. I give it to Sheikh Ayman Abid, you know him? Anyway, he's here. Because he's Azhari, Hafiz. I put 80 points. Wallah, I don't know how did I write them. He told me, no, this is not only character, this characteristic and others. I said, take the characteristic outside and put it in this and give it back to me. Because I want to tell you that this book has something which is not found in any other book. You don't have to be a lecturer to talk about it. But you have to tell them, by the way, this is the linguistic, this is the artistic, this is the drama of the Quran. Too many things which shape the character of the Quran. It comes to you when you keep the Quran next to you. Even if you are not tentatively listening closely to what Allah is saying in the Quran. Because Allah will know. But at least, this is, like actually, if you are sitting alone and comprehensively reading, this is the highest. Then sometimes you read without attention. Sometimes you listen to while you are traveling in the car, or while sisters doing their washing, or doing the cleaning up in the house, or sometimes I go to the shower. But I don't take the Quran with me. I leave the voice in the background in another room. Even my grandson, my Giddu, why is it are you taking the Quran? I said, no, I'm not taking the Quran, but I'm keeping the Quran in this room to have the echo of the Quran while I'm there. This companionship with the Quran is keeping the companionship with Allah. Because if you come and tell me you are Arab, you understand Quran. How about me? I don't understand Quran. I cannot ask you to make tafakkur or tadabbur. But at least I can ask you to make the companionship. Even if you listen to the Quran to benefit the reciters. The more you listen to this reciter, like Abdul Basit or Sharabasi or Minshawi or they'll get more blessing. With this intention, I'll give you more blessing. Like actually, I have here maybe اللي هو بتاع قرأ القرآن المرتل اسمه ايه؟
أو حصر؟
الشيخ الحصر. The more you listen to Husser, the more you get blessing. Sharabasi, Minshawi, Bahtimi, Rifat. When you listen to Rifat like an angel from heaven. Let me give you a story about Rifat because I love him very much. He was a blind man. And he was one of the first people who recited Quran in the 30s. More than nearly 100 years ago. One day, he saw in a dream that he has to go and recite in a funeral. He went with his son take this cart, and with a horse. And he was directing the Arbajis, the man on the horse. Go straight, go right, go left. He's blind. He is blind. And he went from his house. Then I told him, you stop here. His son told him, said, get me out of the thing. Then he went to the funeral. And he went to the man. Oh, the man said, oh, Sheikh Muhammad Rifat, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. Because this man came to the dream of Muhammad Rifat, was asking Allah that I'd love Sheikh Muhammad Rifat to come and recite in my father's funeral. How Muhammad Rifat knew how to go to this place, and he was a blind man. It is supernatural power that you cannot imagine, and this is the power of Quran and the power of connection with the Quran. Two great reciters died with cancer in the larynx. Muhammad Rifat is one of them for 8 years, and he refused any donation for treatment. And the second one was Sheikh Minshawi. At the age of 49 he died. But he died after completing the recording of the whole Quran. Sheikh al-Husari was the first one to recite the whole 13, refused to take any money for that. And at that time it was 10,000 Egyptian pounds. It was now maybe £1 million. That's why Sheikh Husari is still Sheikh Husari. Sheikh Rifat is still Sheikh Rifat. And all those people, why you are listening to them? Because Allah wanted you to listen to them to give you them more blessings. If you do the good thing, brothers, to cut the story short, people will remember you. People will listen to you. People will not forget you. If you keep talking about things, anybody can talk. So you have to do something during your life. Calculate how many hours we waste during the day. And what can we do? And can write something. Develop something. Go outside and help somebody. You are a doctor. Go and teach. We used to have circles. I used to have a halaqa when I was for 9 years, English, in a dar. For 9 years. You know how many people used to come to me? Better guess.
40.
40.
50.
50.
200.
200.
I was gonna say 15.
15.
About 15, 20.
Are we talking to one circle or over those 9 years?
Every circle.
Every circle.
Regular.
30.
30. I used to be in the dar, sitting on a sofa like this, waiting for somebody to come. And I used to sleep because nobody's come.
Oh, so
By the time only one individual came. If he comes, his name was Mr. Brother Omar Whitehouse. I said, oh Omar, yes. Start. Or sister, English sister. 1 or 2 maximum. For 9 years.
The Dar is where the first donation for Islamic
Yeah,
Relief came.
that's right.
Tell them they asked earlier the story.
Yeah. But see, how can we go waiting for one individual to come every week for 9 years?
Yes.
The donation, and let me take you to the creation of Islamic Relief. Six characters started Islamic Relief. Whether you like it, or they like it, or nobody likes it. It was not planned. It was not planned. You got it? You know how I said like this? Can you do that? You know how to
No,
do
no,
that?
not the space.
You know how to do that? You know how to do it? That's fine, very good. So I've been trained. Alhamdulillah. To 1983, I married my wife. You remember?
I've never met your wife.
Well, she's not an extrovert. She is hardcore introvert.
Very few people have met.
Mashallah.
Huh?
Beautiful
I-
characteristic.
I've met her.
Is it one?
In your house?
Oh, this time?
No, many years ago.
Many
a
years
few
ago.
times. Even then, she salam, food, hides.
Run.
Mashallah.
And so at that time there was a famine in your country, 1983. Eritrea, Tigray, and others claimed life of hundreds of thousands, 2 million people displaced, and the British TV and the American focusing only on the Christian refugees. Most of the mosques were raising funds for them and giving to the organization. They did not have any organization. I went to Sudan by invitation, medical meeting, but I didn't have the money for the ticket. I went to the Sheikh in London, Islamic Culture Center. He gave me £300 to buy the ticket. You know what? The one in charge of Islamic Medical Association here told them, where's the meeting? He said, just go to Khartoum. I said, what? He said, go to Khartoum. The meeting in Khartoum. I said, so where? He said, in Khartoum. Because I knew, I visited Khartoum before, I know how many 5-star hotels. My father was working there in the university. I know there's 4 or 5. So let me go to the 4 or 5 hotel and ask for the people. Alhamdulillah, the first hotel, it was built by the British, and the people were there. In this meeting, the Sudanese brother gave us some photograph of the refugees which came from Ethiopia at that time, which in Eritrea and Tigray, and told us one word: they are Muslims. I said, but they are saying no. I said, they are not Muslims. I said that the Muslims are non-Muslims, because Eritrea majority is Muslims, Tigray's majority is non-Muslim. But the media was giving the wrong message. So I took the photograph and have it transit in Egypt to raise fund. And the first donation was 20 pence. Now I've got one character who give the donation to start Islamic Leaf. Nobody knows him or her. £300. You got it? From the Sheikh. The second character was the Sudanese brother who told me, no, you can help them, they're Muslims and Muslims. It changed my mindset. The third character, the young boy at the age of 9, gave me the 20 pence. So this is how we started. 1, 2, 3. I came back in January 1984. I was trying to call any brother to help me and help the refugees. No, busy with Afghanistan. The only one who helped me was an Iraqi brother who was originally from Palestine. Was actually doing his PhD in Birmingham. So you have got unknown character, then you have got Sudanese, then you have got Egyptian, then you have got Palestinian. No address, no budget, no aims, no objectives, nothing. Nothing. Then we were going from street to street, from shop to shop, from house to house, from mosque to mosque. By 1985, Cat Stephen, which is Islam, wanted to come and actually to be with us. He gave us the name, Islamic Leaf. So the one who gave us the name, Islamic Leaf, was Cat Stephen. We took the name and we sent it to a designer in London to design the logo. So I got Egyptian, Palestinian, Sudanese, unknown, Cat Stephen is Greek and Turkish designer. From 83 to 85, 6 individuals were the creators of Islamic belief. Can you imagine this? Can you imagine? Why Allah, I look at it to its international dimension. Why Allah decided to get those people to help in the first inch of the 1 million miles of Islamic belief? The unknown, the Sudanese, the young Egyptian, the Palestinian, the Greek, and the Turkish. Where? In the West. And why Islamic? Because we wanted to be respected by other people. We have to keep the challenge of keeping the word Islam into it, to let people to respect a credible, professional organization. But you need to look at the creation, why Allah decided that those 6 people put the first seed of Islam, or create the first seed of Islamic belief. Can you imagine? Do you understand this message of 6 people? What does it mean?
It means that there were 6 people from completely different places, but they all contributed.
What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean?
I'm not fully sure.
What does it mean?
It's that, especially living in the West, that sense of unity that Muslims should have.
No, it means the birth will be having international dimension.
Mm.
You have a baby that's not going to be local or national or regional. From the birth, he or she have these international dimensions. Because humanitarian work, which I call it now humanitarian work, don't ask me because it's my terminology. I'm serious, this is my terminology. I call it humanitarian work, does not have 3 or 4 dimensions. It's having endless of dimensions. Because when you deal with societies, when you deal with people dimensions are endless. Sometimes they tell you have 3 dimensions. They're not 3 dimensions. The more you discover here, the more dimensions you have. Your image could be 3 dimensions. So what? But your thinking ability and belief is multi-dimensional. The more you dig down, the more dimension you have, and the more intellect you have. Are you with me or you're on another island?
I'm with you.
If you don't understand what I'm talking, don't talk to me. And by the way, this Arabic is so supreme to any other language. Please focus on how to master the Arabic language. Arabic language is the language of the Book of Allah, Sirah, Hadith, Sharia, Fiqh, and language of arts, civilization, intellect, metaphor, even vocabulary. You got it? I have to stop talking.
No. You want to break?
No, you carry on. I have no problem. I'm sitting crossing my legs, doing nothing. Any more questions? ZIKO.
Yeah. So you spoke about how in your time the mindset was very different and there were the family values and the community was very tight, and now it's been corrupted.
I'm not saying corrupted. I'm saying not the same.
Changed. Okay. Changed by technology and all these different things. So for us in university, and then as we graduate and start our own families and things, inshallah, and in wider society, what practical things can we do to bring back the good from that time?
I think
Revive that mindset.
practical step is coming back to this. Because this means Allah is here in the room with us. He is with us wherever, whenever we are. What does it mean? How many billions of people living on earth? 8? This is human. How many billions of insects, of birds, of animals, of trees, of grass, of fish, of drops of water, of grains of sands, of the wind? How many?
Trillions.
When Allah said, I am with you, with the collective of you. You got it? You got it? With the collective of you. أينما كنتم. This is the ability of the one that you worship. And if you are connected to the one who gives the ability to everybody else, you'll be able to understand what needed to be done. If you, and this is the first step towards him, which is to try to understand what he says here. Try to connect with him. Why you go to Canaan and ask him for help and not ask Allah? I'll start with Allah. When your reliance become heavily on Allah, then your effort, the success will come. In one meeting, I'm not sure as when was his name was leaving. What's his name was?
Saleh?
Recently.
Adnan.
Adnan. Adnan and Dr. Tufail was saying that we did something, Adnan did something good in the 90s when he came to Islamic Leaf about something with, I'm not sure, social media, something about the internet. To let Google and Oxfam to come to Islamic Leaf London to see this kind of achievement. And they were focusing on they were focusing on the technology, which is very important. But technology without barakah is dead meat. Yes, I'm a non-Muslim, don't have the barakah. Allah will never decrease my reward. He'll give me the best according to what I have. But if I have the technology with barakah, the reward will be more and more and more. So when you put your hand in the hand of Allah, and we discovered this late, alhamdulillah, it was still alive, that when you put your hand in the hand of Allah, He will take you by the hand. He push you here and there, protects you. He sends you people to protect you, to guard you, to support you, to open your mind. No matter where you are, no matter who is surrounding you. You know, when Prophet Ibrahim was thrown into the fire, the angel came to him. He told them, can I do something for you? He said, no, I don't want anything from you. I am with Allah. He was thrown by this caterpillar, catapult, into the middle of the fire. And Allah made the fire cool. But Allah sent him first to test him. Do you want help from me? He said, no, I'm with Allah. Even with Musa alayhi salam was crossing the river of the sea with the Israelites, with the children of Israel. And you can see that the Egyptian army coming in thousands or hundreds of thousands, whatever you call it. The follower, the people with Musa alayhi salam said, إِنَّا لَمُدْرَكُونَ, we have been, we're going to be captured. He said, no. إِنَّ مَعِي رَبِّي. Allah is with me. So even when Allah paved the way for Musa and the people of Yaqub, Israel alayhi salam, actually, Pharaoh thought that this road is made for him. It was not made for him. Same with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Abu Bakr said, if they look at their feet, they will see us. He told them, what do you think? Of two people, Allah is number three. They were actually standing in front of them. If they look down, they can see Abu Bakr and Muhammad. And this is Ma'iyya. This is the being with. You know, being with? Yeah. If you have this kind of feeling that you are with him, he's with you. It does not need you to become a scholar or a big reader, but it needs you to be looking for this ma'iyya, which is togetherness with Allah. Then you do your homework. But without doing your work, ask Allah, rely on Allah while you are actually doing your work. You got it?
Yeah. How do you increase and develop this ma'iyya?
Be all the time talking to them. And this is where the Sufis got it wrong. Sometimes said, my ma'iyya led me to reach the yaqeen. Nothing called yaqeen. Yaqeen, yes, but when you reach the yaqeen, that means that you stop praying. Sometimes some of them interpret it wrongly. This kind of continuous feeling that he is with you and you are with him. Then you are doing your homework. I tell you something. Once upon a time, I was giving a khutbah in Aspen University, and I was mutagalli. Or no mutagalli يعني. لابس جلابية.
He's like bro, came like a sheikh يعني. Like
جلابية. Long one. I'm not sure it was light blue or white. With a dark blue coat. Was white toby. And what do you call it? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان.
Scarf.
اسمها إيه؟
Scarf.
Scarf. And they finished the khutbah and coming walking from Aston University to the city center, took the bus to come back to New York. And at that time, my stereotype face or look outfit let 3 young English boys make fool of me. And I was doing some zikr. And I saw them from a distance. I didn't take any notice of them, but it seemed that they were planning for something. They planned to let me to fall down, to trip me. And one of them did put his foot in front of my foot. And instead of me falling down, I found him underneath my feet. I was just pulling him up. Here, I'm not the one who pushed him to fall down. Somebody was there. Somebody was observing and was told, watch it. Watch it. We used to drive the cars on Egman Mountain in Bosnia after 11 o'clock in the evening with no lights. with nothing. Any wrong move, many cars fall down in the valley for an hour or more. And who was protecting you on the mountain? Some people, not people, but angels. So those kind of the soldiers of Allah, if you are with Allah, Allah will give them to you. They are not only given to the prophets, they are given to anyone who is in deep, constant relationship with Allah. Last and not least, 1991 when I failed, you know that I failed.
No, I didn't know
I'm a failing man.
that. No.
I'm a failure. No, I'm a failure. Even if you ask my wife, I was refused 4 times.
Perseverance.
Anyway, it was Allah decided that. Anyway, let us go focus not on the woman.
It took me a lot more than 4.
No, but actually, so she's only one. But I said 4 girls refused me.
Oh, it wasn't your wife that refused you 4 times.
No, 4 girls.
I thought your wife kept refusing.
No. My wife accepted me.
Sure.
Instantly, alhamdulillah. Jazakallah khair. You didn't attend the wedding. Huh? المهم, I failed my degree, alhamdulillah, miserably.
Until Asr.
No, here, the doctor of medicine. Because I did, Bismillah, mashallah. You are medics, huh?
Yeah.
You know spina bifida?
Yeah.
You know anencephaly?
Yeah.
You know myeloventriculography? Ventriculography, which actually put the dye in the brain, in the ventricle, and the spinal cord. I have all this in my thesis. If you go 1991 Hani al-Banna, you get it. It's never been done before. You know when you measure the intersegmental distances between the nerve roots? Have you seen it before?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
Go find me. Don't find me, sir. It's all manual. Anyway,
Mashallah, I didn't know that. You didn't
I
know
used
that?
to inject the tail end of the fetuses with the dye to look at the ventricles.
Right.
You remember something called hydromyelia, the dilatation of the central canal of the spinal cord? No? Remember this?
Pass me. This is
You passed.
He's only second year.
Second year.
Look at that one.
He's the final.
If you go to my name, Hani al-Banna, 1991, December, or November, look at the thesis. All is manual. Then, because I was traveling for Islamic leave, by the way, to Saudi Arabia for the first time to collect tourist fund, I did not review the references or the English. I just, of course, my English was Nila, Zift, and my references were all over the place. And the 2 examiners, one of them was neurosurgeon, and the other one was pathologist. The neurosurgeon exactly said Hani al-Banna is useless. It's like Humar. You know, Humar means donkey. The pathologist, his thesis was 1973, said Hani al-Banna is the most pioneer.
Right.
So the difference is
Difference of opinion.
because he did his thesis on some chick embryos, guinea pigs, and 4 or 5 babies, and they did it on 400 fetuses. قصص كلها cut. Anyway, luckily that the dean of the Royal College of Pathology was the head of the pathology department in Queen Elizabeth. He brought me. He told me exactly. Honey, I said, yes sir, I want your thesis in my library. Because of the report by the pathologist. I said, I give you 1 year, I give you some way to correct your English. I said, yes, I want you to rewrite the discussion. That means that you have to read the whole thesis again. tell you سيب بس خد القرآن كده عشان بس رجليا ما اقعدش كل شوية. You know what? I made the gratitude to whom?
Allah.
To Allah. 3 pages of Quran to Allah. You open the thesis, you find to Allah all the story of creation of man. At the bottom, say Quran from year so on to year so, Allah. خلاص, challenge. The professor who was supposed to be correcting my language said, what is all this Quran? I remember my beard was like your beard. I said, isn't it scientific knowledge? Was being firm. I said, yes. I said, do you want me to remove it? I said, no. Because I'm telling you what has been written in the Quran before the microscope or the ultra microscope or the anatomy or the physiology or the pathology describe it. Not only that, here, that's why Allah gave me the thesis. The second thing is the first one who describes spina bifida. You know what was he? Mr. Doctor? The doctor?
No.
What are you doing?
Policy, politics, and economics.
Oh, yeah, waste of time. Yeah. Shake hands. But you are those people who are wasting time are the people who make the decision at the end of the day.
Yes.
I discovered after 5 years that the one who described the spina bifida, his name was Buqasis. I read a review about him. His original name was Abu al-Qasim al-Zahrawi. 6 centuries before Europe. I put in the introduction his name. On Friday, when I was supposed to be, there was a cyclone in Bangladesh, and they're supposed to be submitting the thesis before November and this year. No, and I asked for everybody to go instead of me to Bangladesh because 2 young people like you, there's £30,000. British Airways wanted to give us 2 first-class tickets. None of the boys from the mosques wanted to go. Here, listen to this. On that day, I decided to drop my thesis. You got it? And go to Bangladesh. I called these 2 young brothers, telling them next Monday we can go together, or Monday or Tuesday. You know what? On the same evening, I went to my desk in physics department, and the same data which I had for the last 6 years, I reshuffled it again. Listen to this. Same data which was there for 6 years, and invent a new hypothesis, a new theory for the pathogenesis of spina bifida or neurotube defect. Why it only came out when I prioritized Bangladesh to my personal thesis. As if Allah, and here is the person الحتة بتاعت البركة will actually will being with المعية. When you tell Allah that I'm dropping this, my personal, for your cause, Allah will tell you, oh, come here, boy, take this. You have it with you for 6 years, you don't know what the value of this data. I put it, then I went to the professor in maternity hospital, The doctor said, yes, it makes sense, put it. So it was a thesis plus a new hypothesis. But only came when he said what to do. was the solution. To prioritize, to prioritize the cause of Allah to your cause. You will never ever become generous to Allah. Allah has to be the generous to you. Try to be generous to Allah? Okay, fine, do it. See what He'll do to you. He will do it for you. And this is actually what happened to me. I had no intention to write a new theory, but the new theory came because Allah was telling me, boy, I'll tell you, I'll give you something good. And He gave me this. And I passed the exam. I was qualified, then I went straight to Balkan, to Albania, and I never came back to write any paper. But I gave my thesis to my mother. Said, listen, this is my thesis, and I wore the uniform of the MD. Said, خلاص ثاني, because they were actually making a rumor about that I'm a failure. The family, maybe. 6-7 years, and
So you graduated.
said, now I am going to give up medicine. Said, do whatever you want. Because her dream was that her son to become a doctor.
Was she happy with your decision to?
Yes, she said, do what you want.
It's a big
Yes.
sacrifice.
Yeah.
At that time, not knowing what was going to happen,
Khalas,
so she gave you her blessings.
that's it. Do what you want.
Mashallah.
This was 1992. 1995, I divorced medicine. And no U-turn divorce. I'm very happy.
A life well spent, mashallah.
Mashallah. And the rest is history, as they say.
But actually, this Quran, oh, Bismillah, mashallah, I did not know. The one who helped me to do it was Hafiz, of course, because I could not be chronological to put the ayahs. It was Dr. Ahmed Isa used to give khutbah in Amman.
Yeah.
He was doing his audio, his master in audiology, and I was doing my MD. Even my MD, I did not pay any money for it. I told them, I'm qualified from Kenya yesterday from Egypt. I have no money. I am an MD. I can't pay money for PhD. I said, okay, no problem. I'll give you MD. Consider you as a local student. Because MD should be given to the local student only. £250 only.
Very good.
But PhD, it was thousands of pounds. So this is the Quran. If anytime you go to the library and look for my name, 1991, you found the 3 pages of Quran. You got it? Alhamdulillah.
Should we give him? Let's give him a break now.
The miracles
Pause
of the
the
Quran.
thing.